All right, we're back. We're going to start our two probation violation hearing matters. All right, the first matter we're going to address is in the matter of People versus Monica Roars. File number is 251653 SM. Let me tell you what that alleges. I didn't know what to do with this case, Miss Roars, because you've been struggling. So I got a pre-sentence report to help me with this. Where's the PV petition? There it is. Nothing's in chronological order. The allegation is that you were placed on probation on October 9th for 24 months on a conviction of arson of personal property. The allegations from your probation officer, Mr. Huff, are that you failed to participate in treatment as directed and you failed to not violate any criminal law of any unit of government. You're presently in Steuben County, Indiana on a new felony charge. The time of the sentence, I believe you had 42 days of credit. And Ms. Ives was your attorney at that hearing. As I indicated, she's here with us today. And if we need to go further, she can be reconnected. Just let me tell you what Mr. Huff's recommendation, which I'm inclined to follow, is if you admit the violations, I'm simply going to revoke your probation, give you credit for time served, and let you deal with your Steuben County matters. Do you understand?
Yes, sir, I do.
Now, nobody looks great when they're sitting in jail and you're kind of far away, but you actually look pretty good today. How long have you been in custody?
Almost 80 days.
Matt, how much credit does she have with us?
She had 54 days up front.
Plus 80?
I believe it was 72.
I haven't been keeping track. I've just kind of been doing it day by day. I know I've been in here since January 8th.
Yeah.
All right, so 54 plus 72 would be 126 days total. As I also understand it, you can't start any treatment or programming or probation in Steuben County until we complete our case.
That is correct,
So
sir.
here's the allegation that you violated your probation by failing to participate in treatment and getting rearrested for the same similar charge. If you admit to that, my intention is to revoke your probation, waive the remaining fine and costs, and give you 126 days of jail credit. Now, you do have a right to have a hearing on this, and you have a right to have a lawyer. As I indicated, your lawyer is here just kind of on a standby basis, just because she was already scheduled to be here. But if you want a hearing, I can formally appoint her. At the hearing, they'd have to prove beyond a preponderance that you did violate the terms of your probation. You don't have a right to have a jury trial, but you do have a right to have a hearing on it where witnesses could be questioned under oath. Ms. Roars, how do you plead to the allegation that you violated that probation?
I plead guilty here, sir. Sir, I did it. I'm not gonna waste any more time to the courts here or there. I apologize for everything I've done. I know I poured my heart and soul into that Weeks of God program. I don't know what went wrong there, but I am a firm believer that, I mean, regardless of what I'm looking at down here, God is a God of restoration and he is not done with me yet. So I plead guilty.
Well, he's not done with you yet. You look good today. You were about at rock bottom down here.
I've got, the 15th of, April, I'll have 8 months clean, sir.
Very good. Arson has to do significantly with childhood trauma. And you and I go back a long way. When you're here, I've always got Kleenexes for you, but you're in custody down there. And I won't go into it. You and I have known each other for a long time, and you've got childhood trauma. And it results in this self-destructive behavior. I accept your plea. I'm going to revoke your probation. Waive fine and costs and 126 days, credit 126 days.
Your Honor, I would note there is victim restitution,
How much is that?
$600.
I forgot about that. I'll reserve on restitution. Thank you, Matt. Do you know what's coming up in Steuben County?
I have court on 4/20. I'm not sure of the time. Last time I met with my attorney, Jack Roble, he said, something about dropping it from a level 4 to a level 6 and asking for my release on probation for another year or another 60 days. I'm trying to.
Are you gonna stay down there?
I don't know, sir. I just know that I have a very important graduation coming up on, May 22nd. My youngest daughter, Jersey, is graduating, and if possible, I'm trying to make that.
Well, where are you gonna live? What Matt told me is that you were gonna stay in Indiana.
That's possible.
I didn't believe it. I thought you were probably gonna come back to Three Rivers.
I mean,
8
it
months
is nice.
clean
It is
What?
nice to see some familiar faces, although it is court, I mean, the judges and stuff, but it is nice to see familiar faces. I haven't seen any familiar faces in like a while. So, I
Well, a
mean.
lot of the familiar faces, you don't want to see them.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna get, maybe just get a hotel room. I do have some money saved here on my commissary
Well, I'm
account.
not telling you once you're done there, I understood they were contemplating some sort of a probation. Means you're gonna still need to be connected to them.
I do know that,
but-
sir.
All right, I'm gonna waive your fines and costs, 126 days credit, 126. Leaving 0 days to serve. I reserve on restitution. If you ever do come back here, we may attempt to collect that. You burn those people's stuff up. I'm not sure, don't tell me. I don't know what it is you're accused of burning in Auburn area. But as I said, it's a clear indication of a lot of childhood baggage. Deputy, thank you for your help. You've got a nice setup there. Centered right in the room, good cameras, good sound. Appreciate your help. As far as Steuben County is concerned, St. Joseph County's done with Ms. Roars, and there'll be no further hold on her. All right, Monica, best of luck to
Thank you.
Good luck to you, Monica.
Thanks, Rhonda. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
All right, let's bring Mr. Hike in. All right, I'll remove Steuben County. That's where everybody wants to go to jail. Do we know how many days credit Mr. Hike has?
Yes, I just pulled it up.
It sounds like she's gonna come back here and maybe get right in the same scenario. but I hope not. I mean, her mother's here, her sister's here, her daughters are here. I don't know how she ended up in, do you know what it is? She was accused of burning in, like, in Indiana?
I think it was a car, but. I
Oh,
can't
car.
remember for sure.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, you told me that and I forgot.
March 10th, so we might have 15 days. 16 days. You want to count the 10th, or today, rather?
Good morning, Mr. Hike.
Good morning.
This is file number 231760. Yes, 23. This case is about 3 years old, and we'd really like to bring it to a closure. That's entitled People versus Bo Thomas Hike. That's you, sir?
Yes, sir.
And I've known you since you were in middle school, but you're here today on this charge of failing to complete your probation and a domestic violence charge. The PV petition alleges that on or about 7/9/27/23, you were placed on a 12-month probation. You're supposed to report on a monthly basis and complete anger management. You'd reported for a while, but we never got the anger management completed. You were working a union traveling job. And so we had a probation violation hearing that was set for November 13th of 2024, and you didn't show up. So bench warrant issued. And you got picked up on the bench warrant. On March 10th, I just entered a not guilty plea, canceled your bond, and tried to set a hearing as soon as I could. The problem was we had difficulty coordinating with Ms. Ives' schedule. By our calculation, you've been in jail today for 16 days. Mr. Huff's recommendation, if you were convicted of the probation violation, was to revoke or cancel the probation, lose the deferral status, and just order time served and remaining fines and costs. I'm not going to try to drag you over the finish line for anger management, although frankly, I think you could have benefited from it. So if you admit to not completing anger management and not reporting, I'm going to give you credit for time served, let you out of jail and revoke your probation, and waive your remaining fine and costs. As I told Ms. Roars in the last hearing, you do have a right to have a hearing where it must be established beyond a preponderance of evidence that you did violate the terms of your probation. And you have a right to have a hearing under oath with representation by a lawyer. But I told you what I plan to do if you do admit the violation. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Are you going to acknowledge that you did fail to complete anger management
Yes, sir.
and you went under the radar for a while?
Yes, sir.
I wasn't really clear. I knew this warrant was out. As I said, I've known you and your brothers and your family since you were playing high school sports, but you didn't really go anywhere. You were just sort of under the radar.
That is correct, sir.
And then you, in order to get this over, you just turned yourself in to resolve it.
Yes.
All right. At that point, I didn't think it was going to take 15 days to do it, but Yeah, 16 days. All right, are you gonna be back at Shorewood Drive?
Yes, sir.
Do you still have your union job?
Yes, sir.
Do you have an assignment when you get out?
No, I just have to call there and get one.
You're no longer in a relationship with this complainant who was Angela, is that correct?
That is correct.
And you don't have any children together,
No,
so you don't have any further contact with her.
no.
I wish we could have done the anger management and the deferral, but we didn't. And I'm not gonna accomplish any more by letting you sit in the jail longer. Ms. Ives, you have any additional input?
I don't, Your Honor. I think that my client needs to move forward with his life. Hopefully, he realizes the significance of it and modifies his behavior going forward.
I think that's probably gonna happen. I don't think I'm gonna see him again. Mr. Huff, anything to add?
No, wish you the best of luck.
Somebody gonna pick you up?
Yes, sir.
All right, here's the deal. I accept your admission to the violation that you failed to complete the anger management and failed to report. I revoke your probation. I'm giving you 16 days jail credit, 16 days, waiving any remaining fines and costs, and there is a loss of the deferral status. But otherwise, you're free to go. You can call somebody and they'll come pick you up. How about if you don't come see me? I'll be here for the rest of the year. So if I run into you at McDonald's or the Myers or something, but how about not in here?
Sounds amazing, sir.
All right, you're good to go, Mr. Hike. I'm sorry.
Here is what truly unfolded inside this St. Joseph County courtroom on March 25th, 2026, and what it reveals about justice, second chances, and the limits of both. Monica Roars came to her probation violation hearing the same way she has come to many hearings before it, via video from a county jail, this time in Steuben County, Indiana. She was originally convicted of arson and placed on probation. But before that probation had even run its course, she was arrested again for what turned out to be burning someone's car. In open court, she told the judge that God is a God of restoration and that he wasn't done with her yet. And the judge, who has known Monica for years, who has kept Kleenex at the ready for her in his courtroom, accepted her guilty admission, credited her 126 days of jail time, waived her fines and costs, and let Steuben County handle the rest. He even forgot, briefly, that there was a victim owed $600 in restitution. After the camera clicked off, he said quietly that he thought she'd probably be back. Bo Hike's case told a different story. 3 years old, built on a domestic violence charge and an anger management requirement he never completed. He knew the bench warrant was out. He didn't run. He didn't hide across state lines. He just went quiet, then walked in and turned himself in. The judge gave him 16 days of jail credit and sent him home, acknowledging he wished the anger management had actually happened. He told Bo he hoped to see him at McDonald's someday, but not in his courtroom. 2 very different people, 2 very different paths. The same judge, trying to do something human inside a system that doesn't always make that easy. What this hearing shows us is that the real work of justice happens in moments just like these, unglamorous, complicated, and deeply personal. If you found this case as eye-opening as we did, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more real courtroom breakdowns, because justice never gets old.